welcome. My name is Andrea Floan, and I'm here with author Michelle Savage. Michelle is the author of upcoming novel Morgan Stone and has contributed to the Tarina anthologies Beguiling Beasts and Mystical Maidens with her short works Narcock and Scathach. Michelle's love letters will also be featured in Tarina's After Dark anthology, which is set to release on February 14th. Michelle, thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Happy to be here.
We're happy to have you. So Michelle, how did you know that you wanted to write horror stories?
You know, I think that I've kind of always liked monsters because they scare me. Narcock really made me realize that I wanted to write about monsters. I thought I would do dystopian fiction because that's what Morgan is. And I had so much fun getting inside Narcock's mind. He used to be human, and so I kind of like garnering the sympathy for him too.
Okay.
I think we're all monsters, and we have those monsters inside of us that we reject. They're like our shadow sides, and so I think that that's kind of why I like it. It's exposing what people don't want to talk about.
Okay, so monsters definitely most appeal to you about the genre.
Absolutely.
So what is like the scariest monster in your mind that you could think of?
Scariest monster, I think, is probably after I've been doing some research because I have an upcoming project. I would have to say that of all the monsters I've looked at, El Chupacabra just scares it just terrifies me. And it's not the one that's it's not the United States chupacabra. It's the one from Puerto Rico, and it's alien looking. It's got big eyes, and it's all scaly, and it's got spikes, scary teeth, and that one just, I had nightmares all last week because I was doing some research and found that. I'm like, ooh, I'm gonna watch this. I like to write things that are terrifying, but the truth is I can't watch a scary movie alone.
I hear you.
It's I get scared. But that one so far is like one of the most terrifying. The Bear Lake Monster, which is what Narcock is based on, that one scares me too because I've always had like a fear of water. My mom helped with that. Don't go over there, you'll drown. So I was always scared of the water anyway. And then Jaws and all of those things. So water is terrifying to me. And I feel like the bravest person on the planet when I get out on my kayak on Causey Reservoir. And I'm like, yeah, there could be a monster down there, but I'm doing it anyway.
Wow.
Well, I am way too old to believe in monsters, but I really do.
No, and I mean, like, if you're scared, you're writing about, the things that you're scared about. It's going to be more real on the page, right?
Oh, absolutely. I really believe that. And I won't go on. You couldn't get me on the water at Bear Lake. I was hesitant before Narcock, but like even on the shore.
No, I hear you.
It's sketchy.
There's something about not being able to see what lurks below kind of thing, right?
Yeah, and it's so deep. It's like almost 300 feet deep.
Oh, wow.
And Causey Reservoir is the same. It's extremely deep. And there are places where they can't get to the bottom. They know it's down there, but they can't get to the bottom, both places. And so, and there's also a legend of a monster in Causey Reservoir where I go kayaking. And so that's why I feel so brave when I do it. And then I get back to shore and I'm like, yay, it didn't meet me today.
That's definitely an accomplishment in itself. All right, Michelle. Now, on a more serious note, how important are things like characterization and setting in terms of writing horror stories for you?
Oh, I think that they're essential because you have to know how that person's going to react. I've been doing, character interviews where you talk to the people in your head, and getting to know those characters. I think that they have to be well-rounded or they're not going to be believable. They have to be believable. You have to be able to feel for them. And I think that with like my favorite is Narcock still. He's always going to be my favorite monster. Um, you feel sorry for him. Like you kind of want him to win. Because you get to know the who's deep inside of Narcock. And I think I think you need to have that, so that you have, if they successfully escape a monster, you got to know why, what was in them that gave them that courage to get away, or that knowledge to get away, that sort of thing.
Sure. So, kind of what I'm getting is like if these monsters are the shadow side of somebody, and you are trying to expose the light of that shadow side almost.
Yeah, I do that with people too. I want them to be terrifying. I want them to be really terrifying, but at the same time, I want there to be confusion in your mind, because you have empathy, for this creature, and his um like his difficulties that he's having. Sorry, I lose words.
That's okay.
Um, but I think that I think there's light and dark in everything and everyone.
Absolutely.
And the dark is terrifying to us, but I think that that little bit of light, even in the worst, can sometimes. I think that's what makes it real. I think that's what makes it relatable, is because even in our darkest times, we have that little bit of hope, that little bit of light.
I think that's
I
very
give it to
true.
the monsters too.
No, that's good. I think it definitely does help people relate more to the character, especially if they are someone who's so, disgusting or horrifying, there has to be something that they can, be drawn to and want
Yeah,
to follow their journey in a way.
and it bothers people to think, "Ooh, I relate to that," and that freaks me out. I love that.
Sure. That's another good point.
Yeah.
Definitely. So Narcox sounds like a very interesting character. I want to get to know more about him. So, would you say like he's your definitely your favorite monster, right?
Yeah, he's my favorite. I
Okay.
would have a pet narcoc.
Did he feel like one of your first successes as an author?
He actually was, because he's my first published story. I've been writing since, I don't know, forever, and probably at least 35 years, and I've never published anything because I've always been terrified putting myself out there. That's just too much. And I, like, when I hit the button and sent Narcoc over to Tarina, I was like, this is it, it's happening. And it was this huge moment for me. And I sat on my bed. I write in bed a lot, because it's the softest, cushiest place in the whole world. It's my cloud bed. And I pushed the button, and then I just sat there and I cried, because I was so happy I finally met this lifelong goal. And Narcoc helped me do that. That might be why he's my favorite. Because he got me over that. And now I'm not scared. I'm not afraid to put it out there. And Morgan is going to be extremely, that's a deep part of me, a very big piece of me. And so I think I needed Narcoc, and I think I needed Evangeline and Alexander, from Love Letters. I needed them to give me a solid place to stand when I put Morgan out there.
That's understandable. It's definitely scary to put yourself out there, especially, if it is the first time. but I'm really glad that Narcoc was able to bring you through that threshold and that you're,
Love him.
you have, I'm so glad. I'm so glad you have that place to stand now. And, I definitely do want to talk to you about Morgan Stone. Could you tell me what was the experience like writing this and some of the preparation that went into writing this work for you?
I started having a dream when I was 13 years old, and it was about this group of people who had to leave their homes, and they went into the mountains and they were trying to escape something. I never was sure what they were trying to escape, so that part, that's all made up. But I knew they had to get away. And sometimes it felt like there was going to be water. Sometimes it felt like there was going to be something else. And I went with a parasite being intentionally set into the water supply. Did a bunch of research on that, just because I had to find a reason why they would leave. But this dream was the same, and I would have it 4 or 5 times a year, and from the time I was 13. And when I was 45, I want to say, and I've started it several times, but I didn't know how to plot it out. So about 8 years ago, I decided I had already found like places from the dream, which was really strange. So I'd found places. So I decided I was going to make this hike so that when I write it, it would be, I had been there, and I know what it looks like and I know what it smells like and feels like and what the air's like. So 8 years ago, my friend Casey and I took off on this adventure, and we were doing the first half of the hike together. She couldn't take the rest of the time off, so she's only doing the first half. But we did the first half of the hike, and we got up through Snow Basin, and my husband Dewey came and picked us up there, and he brought us home. I spent the night here, and this was a 2-day hike. She and I hiked for 2 days, and then I slept here the third night. And then my son, Christopher, and his dad, Ivan, went with me for the rest of the hike. And we took off at the eastern point of Causey Reservoir because it was up this canyon. And we made it about halfway. And I stepped in a moose hole, and we couldn't make it the rest of the way. So in comes a helicopter. They fly us out. So the next year we plan, and it's going to be me and Ivan, the kid's dad, Dewey, my husband, and me. So because I want to see the whole trail. I want to see the whole trail. Um, Side note, I have not seen the whole trail. There's about
Still?
there's about a half a mile in the middle that I've never seen, because the second time we started from the top.
Wow.
Well, 3 days in, my husband got sick. He was diabetic. On the fourth day, he died. Um, and they had to rescue me again. Helicopter told me if I ever go back there, they will leave me there. If I ever get stuck up there again, I'm going back. Anyway, I have to see that last half mile.
Of course you do.
But Dewey was a really, really big supporter of my writing, anything I wrote. And he wanted to write things together because he liked to write too. So this book's Morgan's kind of for him because that's why it's so tender. It's this thing that I did for my whole life, and then I lost him. And so this book is his, and it's for him. And I had played with maybe using a pen name, and remembered that I had promised him when I published my novel about this, I would publish with my real name. So I am. So, but it was, and then I've rewritten it in the last year. I've rewritten it 3 times completely, like trashed
Wow.
it, started over. This last one, I'm good. I'm doing the editing. I'm in the editing process. my goal is to release it on April 8th.
Okay.
Hopefully I'll make that. If not, I'm going to hold out until June 18th
Okay.
for him. So I'm hoping for April 8th, but
That's coming
I
up very soon.
it is, and I'm racing. And I have no social life. I none. Because if I'm not, I have a full-time job during the day, and then I do all my writing stuff at night and the weekends. I have no social life right now, but it's totally worth it.
Absolutely. And you sound very determined.
Oh, I'm so determined. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this.
I have the utmost confidence in you, Michelle. And I think that Morganstone is going to be an absolutely beautiful tribute to Dewey as well.
Yeah, he'll like it. I feel like he's with me all the time, when I'm working on it. And so I think he'll like it too. But it's kind of a lifelong dream, and this is going to be that publishing is going to be the culmination of all of that. So
I'm so excited for you. That's such a big moment.
I'm excited. I'm super excited. I'm scared. I won't lie. Sometimes I cry over it. I'm like, I can't do this. But yeah, it's exciting, super exciting.
It's very exciting. I'm so excited for you. And we're really, really looking forward to hearing more from you. Is there anything else that you would like to share with me? Kind of an open mic?
Oh, I'm working on a series of short stories about monsters, different monsters.
Okay.
And how it's called, the series is going to be called Cursed.
Okay.
And it's how those monsters became the monsters that they are. And what thing they did, but they all used to be human. Just like it's kind of along the lines of Narcoc, why they became that, why they have to pay that penance. And then I've also got another one that is that one's, I'm hoping for an October publishing date. October 27th is what I'm shooting for. It's called Skinwalker. That's I might change it, the name, but it's about skinwalkers. So and they're a type of witch, and they are absolute evil. So
they sound terrifying.
They don't even get any light. I'm not giving them light.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be something new for me. It's seeing things for what they are. So
that's very cool. Lots of good stuff to look forward to then.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Awesome.
It'll be lots of fun.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. It was such a pleasure.
Thank you. It was really nice talking to you. I really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
I hope you do too.
Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Watch for the monsters.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.